I don't usually write reviews after I've stayed somewhere, and I really hate those kind of people who just go on TripAdvisor just to gripe that the air conditioning in their rental was 2 degrees too cold for their special snowflake skin or whatever. But I've just gotten back from a place that I was staying in that is more messed up than Nicolas Cage's performance in Ghost Rider. And the listing has disappeared, so I am posting this everywhere that I can. So, let's start from the beginning. You don't know me, so I'll just fill you in on a little bit about me. I'm as straight as an arrow. What you see with me is what you get. I don't believe in ghosts or the boogeyman or get creeped out when I have to walk down a dark alley or down a dark corridor. But a week ago, I booked a trip to Paris as a surprise for my girlfriend, and she had always wanted to go to France and loves those little snooze fest Woody Allen movies set in the European cities. We'd been through a little bad patch within our relationship, and I figured that a few days in the city of love would sort us out and get us back to our old normal selves. And I found an apartment on a new rental site called Classy European for Classy Americans. Yeah, I know. The red flag should have gone up right away with that one. The photos looked good though, and it was way cheaper than any of the places that I had found on any other website. Way cheaper than even the one-star hotels in the red light district. And there was no reviews. Another red flag. I sent an inquiry message, and the owner, Mr. Ongel, got back to me straight away. I've passed his email here so you can see it in its full glory. Hi, my good new acquaintance, Mr. Frankie Berner from Michigan. Thank you for your questioning. It is on the 3rd floor. To answer what you have been asking us, the kitchen has gas, and also there may be other heat. The key will be placed in a rectangular box outside. Yes, but of course, there has to be Wi-Fi. We are not monsters. The code is Petit 1984. We ask only that you, our esteemed visitors, do not feed the neighbors. Don't feed the neighbors. What the heck? I try to rationalize that Google Translate was playing its little mind twist games, or it was some messed up European humor or whatever. Anyways, it was cheap and greed won. I booked it. The trip started off pretty badly. The flight was delayed for 6 hours thanks to some jerk who just couldn't hold his red stripe and had to be ousted from the plane. And we only arrived at around midnight. Even in the dark, I could see the building was a pretty bad dump, but my girlfriend and I were just tired and twitchy from jet lag, so we thought, screw it, let's just stay one night and then get a refund. My girlfriend tried to be upbeat, which is typical for her, saying stuff like, look at the spiral staircase, or look at the wooden floors, it's so French. And I was out of breath from hauling the bags up to the 3rd floor, so I didn't pay much attention to the apartment, even when we got inside it, save to notice that it wasn't the slick studio pad I thought that I had rented, and it smelled like old people's skin. It was basically just a small living area with a couch, a tiny kitchen, a bathroom, and a bedroom. The furniture was one notch above thrift store, and my girlfriend had to go look around like people always do in rentals, pulling open closets and drawers. It was when she was checking out the bathroom that she found the first freaky thing. Come look at this, Frankie. She was pointing at one of those "do not put foreign matter down the toilet" signs that was stuck up by the paper dispenser. There were symbols drawn on it that were crossed out, the usual stuff, diaper, cigarette butt, etc., etc. But at the bottom of the sign was a silhouette of what looked like a baby's chubby arm. What the heck does that even mean, she asked. Are they warning us not to put body parts down the toilet? Maybe it's a French thing, I said, trying to lighten the mood a little bit. But Viv didn't laugh at that. I could tell she was going to suggest that we get the heck out of Dodge, so I told her that I had to pee and she left the room. I was zipping up when I heard her cry out. I thought maybe she'd seen a cockroach or something, but she was in the bedroom staring at a small, bland-looking picture on the wall, the only piece of artwork in the whole place. I was like, so what? She kept touching her throat. Come closer. I did. Holy crap, I said. It's made out of nail clippings? What the heck? And it was. Someone had stuck fingernails into a piece of card in the shape of a flower, like a gross version of one of those dried pasta pictures that kids made in kindergarten. I want to leave, Viv said. I want to go now. After that flight, the last thing I wanted to do was trapeze around Paris in the middle of the night, and I didn't know a word of French apart from bonjour and merci. I was pretty sure that if we walked up to a hotel this late, they'd gouge us. I managed to persuade her that we could handle one night in the apartment. The bathroom sign was weird, and the picture was gross, but it wasn't as if we had found a dead body under our mattress. Reluctantly, she agreed. We pulled the covers down, and the sheets looked clean. My girlfriend smelled them and said they were kosher. My wallet and I breathed a sigh of relief, and she fell asleep almost immediately. This was when it got weird, or weirder. Before I crashed, I decided to send Mr. Ongle and the Classy Americans site an email telling them that they'd be hearing from my lawyer, but surprise, surprise, there wasn't any Wi-Fi. I was moving around the apartment hunting for a signal when a flicker of movement caught my eye. A piece of paper was being pushed under the front door. There was a single word scribbled on it in black ink. Bonjour. Thinking that maybe Mr. Ongle was outside, and boy, was he going to get an earful, I yanked the door open, and there was no one. I couldn't hear any retreating footsteps on the wooden stairs, and there was nowhere to hide in the hallway. Whoever had dropped the note off had the speed of Usain Bolt. I went back to the couch thinking, well, that was freaking weird. 2 minutes later, another piece of paper was slid under the door. I didn't stop to read it. I hauled open the front door, hoping to catch whoever was doing this, but again, zip. There was nothing. There was only the other door on our floor. There was no way that someone had time to run down the stairs without me seeing them. The only other place they could be was behind the other door. I banged on it and I put my ear to it. Nothing. Then I noticed it. The door was nailed shut. Huge rusty nails scored the wood and the frame. No one was getting in or out of there. I pushed against it all the same, and it did not budge. Trying not to freak the heck out, I went back into our apartment and picked up the note. It read, Xfiivmgob. Excuse my French, because I don't know very much. I couldn't Google Translate it because of the Wi-Fi situation, so I had to flip through the vocabulary section in the back of one of Viv's French books. It read, I am hungry. Do not feed the neighbors. I'm not the kind of guy who gets easily spooked out, but I'll admit it was getting to me. There was a heavy feeling in the air, just like before a storm. I paced in front of the door waiting for another one of those notes so I could catch the jerk in the act. And 15 minutes passed, and the exhaustion was starting to win. I went into the bathroom to splash some water on my face. When I got back in the living room area, there was another note waiting for me. The same message, but the writing looked angrier, almost scribbled in anger, almost cut into the paper. I tried to tell myself that it had to be some kids messing around or Mr. Ongle messing around with us, but I'm not a dumb guy and I couldn't work out how they could be doing it. I was now wired as anything, angry and scared all at the same time. I wanted my .38. I wanted any kind of weapon. I should have woken up my girlfriend and left after the first note arrived. Why didn't I? Probably because I didn't want whoever was doing this to win. What I wanted was to kick their butt. After another half hour passed, it was now almost 2 a.m. and I went to check on my girlfriend, and guess what? Yeah, when I returned to the door, there was another note waiting for me, and this time it was the same message repeated over and over again. It was spelled JESUISFAIM. If my French is right, it's telling me I am hungry. This jerk was now taunting me, and that was the last straw. The anger chased away any fear that I might have been feeling, and I dug around in my girlfriend's bag, found a pen, and on the back of the note wrote, "You hungry?" ? Then come and get something to eat. Period. I went out into the hallway and kicked the neighboring door, and I tried to push the note under the door, between the door and the floor, but it just wouldn't fit. I was about to give up, and the anger feeling was fading, and I realized that I was just being dumb, when all of a sudden the note was sucked out of my grip under the door, as if they were pulling it with a vacuum cleaner or something. I might have yelled, I don't know, but I booked it back into the apartment. I was shaking now, and I couldn't stop swallowing. There was another note waiting for me, which was impossible. No one had come past me while I was outside the door. Merci was all it said. I knew that word meant thank you, but thank you for what? I yelled at my girlfriend to get the heck up and told her that we were getting out of there now. That's when I heard her scream. I ran into the bedroom, and she was staring at her left hand as if she had never seen it before. The nails on her hand were bitten as if she had been chewing her nails, and Viv doesn't bite her nail. She spends a freaking fortune on a manicure every other week. We did what we should have done the first minute, gotten the heck out of there. We had to pay top dollar to stay in a hotel at such short notice, but my girlfriend got over the shock pretty fast after a couple of days of doing touristy things, and she convinced herself that she must have bitten her nails in her sleep, but I didn't sleep properly till we were back on the plane home. And yeah, I did try to email Mr. Ongle and rip him a new one, but the email bounced back, and Classy American site wouldn't let me post this review because the listing had mysteriously disappeared. So let me be clear. If you're going to Paris, don't stay in apartment 3B at 72 Rue de Pure. Stay away from the whole freaking block, if you ask me. Please share this as widely as you can. I don't know what the neighbors would have wanted to eat next, but I can tell you this. There's no way that you want to find out. I wrote that review a few weeks ago, and here's the update I have for it. That same ad, it's back online. It's listed on another site, but it's back online.